Good morning. Thanks very much for joining us. We are continuing our conversations with the candidates for mayor of Boston in the September 26th preliminary election. And we're pleased to be joined this Sunday morning by Robert Cappucci of East Boston. He's a retired Boston police officer and a former member of the Boston School Committee. Bob, welcome.
Thank you, John.
Good to see you again after many years.
Thank you for inviting me, John.
Thank you for coming. Good to have you.
Pleasure.
So why, in a nutshell, are you doing this? Why are you running for mayor?
I've always wanted to be serving the Boston population. I have been a candidate many times. I've won some, lost some. It's still, the fire is in my belly, and I believe I would have a different agenda than the present mayor, and it would be irresponsible for me not to try to be the next mayor of Boston.
Thinking back over the last few years, was there a moment when you saw something happening in the city, or you saw the incumbent, Mayor Walsh, doing something, and you said to yourself, you know, I think I have to step up to, you know, what was the moment where you said, I got to do this?
It was a combination. My parents raised me never to say anything about someone if you don't have something good to. So it's nothing personal. It's just, as a mayor, I think, to answer your question, it was a combination of two things. It was the 2024 Olympics and also the Indy 500. I felt the communities, especially in the Seaport area and all across Boston, that we're going to have the Olympic sites were very unhappy about that. And since that's Bob Cappucci, I care about people. Those were the initial situations where I felt I would look at being a candidate for mayor.
So you were starting to question the leadership that's in place now. You know, the Olympics controversy was, to a great extent, it was being sold as a development issue, that this would spur conversations around redeveloping Wedette Circle and other areas of the city. And in your campaign material, Bob, you say you will, quote, place a moratorium on all real estate development, end quote. Why and to what end? Well,
I needed 3,000 signatures to get on the ballot to be a candidate for mayor, and 1,400 of those were by myself. I was able to get signatures in several parts of the city, and I could not believe how unhappy people are with the enormous agenda of the real estate developing that's going on, both residential, commercial, and large buildings in downtown Boston, shadows being casted on the public gardens, people telling me that they're getting evicted and where are they going to go. I had two examples that stand out in my mind. One was a woman who signed my papers in South Boston, pointed across the street and said, I live there with my daughter. I'm being evicted. Where am I going to go? I cannot afford these new units. Another woman was down in Morrissey Boulevard at the Star Market. She said to me, I'm being evicted. I pay $1,800 for a 3-bedroom. I just went across the street at the new apartment development, and they want $5,000 a month. Where am I going? This is all over the city. Brighton, Dorchester, East Boston, South Boston.
Well, what's the purpose of the moratorium, though? How will that address these issues you're describing?
Well, if I shut down the development industry and then try to negotiate with them to realize you're making a lot of money, you're creating a lot of jobs, but the most important thing are the citizens and the residents of Boston. They have to come first. That's my job. I don't believe they're coming first right now. What I would like to do is to have, I was in real estate development, and I would like to have the so-called dog and pony show first go to the community. I don't want the developers going to the BRA, which is now the Boston Planning Development Agency. I don't want them going there, going to the zoning board, getting all the permits they need, and then going to the community and saying, this is what we're going to do. We want to do 46 units, as in the case in East Boston recently. We'll drop it down to 44. And I'm glad to say the East Boston neighborhood group shot them down. No, you're not even doing 44. So that's what I would do. The developers have to go to the people and the community first. Then you come to City Hall looking for your permits.
Interesting. Okay, we'll take a short break and we'll continue our conversation with Bob Cappucci, candidate for mayor of Boston, in just a moment. Please stay with us. Welcome back to our conversation with Boston mayoral candidate Robert Cappucci. And Bob, again, referencing your campaign material, you say you will, quote, not let Boston be a sanctuary city for illegal immigrants. Now, as I mentioned at the top of our interview, you're a former Boston police officer. Some mayors, I don't know if Mayor Walsh has put it quite this way, but I've heard other mayors say they just can't afford to devote police resources to assisting federal immigration authorities in rounding up or detaining people here illegally. I take it you feel differently.
That's correct, John. There are several reasons. First of all, with the marathon bombing, one of the things was discovered was that there was lack of communication between the three levels of law enforcement on the federal level, the state level, and the local level, in this case, Boston. And they said that has to stop. We have to communicate with each other. Now we're back at square one where we're not communicating anymore. That's going to possibly create a problem like we already had with the marathon bombing. And I want to do something before the horse gets out of the barn. That's number one. Number two, I think that the revenue that you're talking about is now being denied to us because of cities and towns taking this position of allowing illegal immigrants to take up residency. If I become mayor, I would stop that, and then we would be getting the federal dollars that we sent down to Washington as income taxpayers. It will come back to us, and that will fill the gap that I think you're alluding to.
The other argument you hear is that if we don't take steps to protect or at least not pursue relatively law-abiding people who are here without proper documentation, in other words, people who are not committing serious crimes, but are definitely here illegally, that they in turn won't cooperate with law enforcement when crimes occur, that they'll be afraid to participate in the life of the community in that way. Do you share that concern at all?
The most concern I have are the citizens of the United States and Boston citizens first. They're here legally. Many of them have problems with the illegal aliens coming in. That's the message I'm getting. They're taking jobs from us. I personally feel very badly for them because I know kinds of countries they come from. And however, the fact remains you have to have law and order. Whatever we can do as the United States to help those countries that are third world countries, fine. But if you come here the way our ancestors came here, through the right rules and regulations, not sneaking across the border, not staying beyond your visa. It's wrong. I would have law enforcement do their job, and whatever ICE says, that's what's going to happen. If they can stay, they can stay. I have no problem with that. But my police department will be executing what they're supposed to be doing if they pull one of the illegal immigrants over. They will notify ICE, hold them, and then it's on ICE. Whatever ICE says, I'll go along with that.
Our time is up, but if people would like to find out more about you and about your campaign for mayor, how can they do that?
I have three ways to do that. I have a 24-hour telephone number. Okay. I have a website, and my website is www.robertmeanycappucci.org, and I also have a I'm sorry.
Campaign headquarters, or?
Not presently.
Okay.
But I have the Robert Cappucci gmail.com, my email address, I'm sorry.
Robert Cappucci will be on your ballot on September 26th in the Boston mayoral preliminary. Good luck, Bob.
Thank you, John.
Thank you for coming by.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. And thank you very much for joining us. Now I'm going to send it back over to my colleagues for more WBZ News.